Will your team fall victim to the trap? The Pac-12 is going to be one of the most fun and exciting and entertaining conferences in all of college football this year. And with it brings a lot of upsets and a lot of big-time trap games for every single team. And that's what we're here to break down today, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at the trap game for every single Pac-12 team, what they have to do to avoid the trap, and hopefully not get upset this upcoming season. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad that you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country, guys. A full year-long subscription over there. You do not want to miss out on that. And miss out on everything else that's down in the description below. We want you to take advantage of it and become a part of our GE Nation. So let's take a look at these Pac-12 trap games, guys. We'll go through them rather quickly, starting in alphabetical order with Arizona, their trap game on the road at Colorado. And I feel like, a lot of people are going to throw out Colorado as the trap game this year, right? The Buffaloes are bringing out, so much talent, so much excitement and hype with Deion Sanders and all the additions to the transfer portal. I'm not sold on them quite yet, but this truly, to me, is a trap game for the Wildcats. A team that certainly is improving under Jedd Fisch, has a great quarterback in Jayden de Laura, but this game at Colorado falls in between games against UCLA and Utah. So really tough place to be if you're Arizona. Could be coming off another big win against UCLA or a rough loss against the Bruins, and a Colorado team that certainly will be more competitive than they've been in years past. So do not sleep on the Buffaloes, and do not sleep on them, especially when you play them in Boulder. Arizona State, their trap game comes in week 3 against Fresno State. A lot of people would say, how? It's not even a conference game. But Fresno State's still going to be a pretty dang good offense. Fresno State's going to still be a pretty dang good team, despite the loss of Jake Haener. And you look at Arizona State, guys. A new head coach right now, and Kenny Dillingham coming over from the offensive coordinator at Oregon. You've got questions at quarterback right now. They might be leaning Drew Pine to transfer from Notre Dame, but there's a lot of questions right now with Arizona State. Fresno State has experience across the board. This is the team that lost to Eastern Michigan last year. Wouldn't be shocked to see Fresno State come in and do the same. California, they're not going to be very good this year. At least we don't expect them to be. But their trap game comes in the big-time rivalry game, November 18th at Stanford. I think this is a game where, again, with California and Stanford, neither are expected to be contenders, neither are expected to do much, but this is a game about pride. And if you look on paper, I think many would lean California being the better team, but I could see Stanford at home pulling off this win. So it's not going to have major implications by any means, but it's certainly the trap game for California in a game that I think many would believe they would be favored in. Colorado, their trap game, Arizona State. How about that? October 7th. A very winnable game for the Buffaloes. If they come in and start exceeding expectations, if all the transfers are starting to click, maybe Colorado's a lot better than we expect. Arizona State, though, out in the desert is a very difficult place to play. And for the Buffaloes, this game against the Sun Devils falls in between, after back-to-back games against Oregon and USC. So you're playing two of the best teams in the conference in back-to-back weeks. And then you go out to the desert, which, as we know, is very tough to play. Colorado, I could see being a little bit worn down, a little bit down on their luck, especially if the Oregon and USC games result in big-time blowouts. Can they bounce back and beat Arizona State on the road? It is a bit of a trap game, and a game that certainly to me will be more competitive than we've seen in years past. Oregon, September 9th at Texas Tech. How can you not make this the trap game? This is an Oregon team that has their sights set on a Pac-12 title, their sights set on a college football playoff berth, and the college football playoff berth idea could go to an end if they lose to Texas Tech, because the schedule after this is tough for the Ducks. 2 losses, they're going to be out of contention. They certainly don't want to afford to lose this game in Lubbock. But the Red Raiders are good, very good offense, improving on defense. It's the Tyler Shug reunion game. The quarterback now at Texas Tech was the former quarterback at Oregon, so an interesting storyline there. Red Raiders are going to be very, very tough. And Oregon, if they're not careful, will drop this game, and with it, will probably lose all their college football playoff hopes because, again, with the rest of the schedule coming up, and they've got to play USC and Utah and Washington, it'd be very, very difficult for the Ducks to run the table the rest of the way. Oregon State, October 28th at Arizona. This, to me, is a major trap game because Arizona, I do believe, is improving a lot under Jedd Fisch. We saw them, have some signs of brilliance last year, pull off a handful of upsets last year. And you look at this one here, in the desert, tough place to play. Oregon State coming off a bye week. Will they be well rested? Will they still be hungover? It's not an easy place. DJ Uiagalelei versus Jaden DeLora. I give DeLora the edge at the quarterback position. We saw Arizona pull off a massive upset last year against the likes of UCLA. Wouldn't be shocked to see them take down Oregon State team that does have their sights set on a Pac-12 title after a 10-win season in 2022. Stanford, September 16th against Sacramento State. Some would say, how? Against an FCS school? Are you kidding me? Lots goes into this one, right? Stanford's in a tough spot. New head coach in Troy Taylor. Major questions at quarterback. Not much returning talent. Stanford's in a very, very rough spot. Sacramento State has consistently been one of the best FCS programs in the country. Furthermore, Troy Taylor is the new head coach at Stanford. He's coming in from Sacramento State, where he was the head coach. So, Sacramento State would love to take down their old coach. Love to beat him at Stanford. So a lot of factors coming into this one. It's an intriguing storyline, but do not be shocked if Sacramento State upsets Stanford on September 16th. It's a major trap game where people overlook it, mark it down as a win. We say not so fast. UCLA, this one's obvious. November 4th at Arizona. UCLA was upset by Arizona last year, 34-28. It was a major, shocking upset towards the end of last year. So, of course, it's a trap game. Now they're going to have to go on the road. They lost to Arizona in the Rose Bowl last year. Now they've got to go to Tucson to take on the Wildcats, one that's consistently, again, getting better and better and better. And UCLA, now without Dorian Thompson-Robinson. By November 4th, the Bruins will surely have figured out any issues they have offensively or at the quarterback position. But now on the road against a team they lost to last year, it's a big-time trap game, especially if UCLA does still find themselves in Pac-12 title contention. So something to watch out for as we enter that first weekend of November. USC, they are probably the Pac-12 favorite this year. No doubt about it. They're a college football playoff contender this year. No doubt about it. Their trap game does not even come in the conference. It comes out of conference on October 14th at Notre Dame. This is an interesting one for me for a lot of reasons. First off, Notre Dame, going to be a very good team. We know that. Sam Hartman coming in at quarterback. Marcus Freeman seemed to get the things going towards the end of last year. I expect things to continue to pick up throughout 2023, a year where Notre Dame could be a playoff contender of their own. But this Notre Dame game also comes right before the Utah game for USC. Keep in mind, the Trojans lost to Utah twice last year, once in the regular season and once in the Pac-12 championship, which kept them out of the college football playoff. USC wants revenge, no doubt about it. They've got to be mindful not to overlook Notre Dame, even though it's a big rivalry game, overlook Notre Dame in South Bend in preparation for that Utah game. I can see this being a look-ahead spot and Notre Dame getting a huge resume-boosting win while making sure USC takes a huge hit to theirs. Utah, their trap game, September 29th at Oregon State, a Friday night game right before Utah's bye week. So they're going to be anxious to get to that week of rest, ready to regroup. Utah very well could be undefeated at this point. And now you're facing an Oregon State team in Corvallis that, again, is no slouch at all. Extremely stingy defense, has improved quarterback play with DJ Uiagalelei on a Friday night. All the factors seem to be there to where Oregon State could pull off this upset if Utah's not careful. Also depends, of course, on the health of Cam Rising. We assume he'll be back by week 1, certainly by week 2 or anything like that. But how, is he fully 100%? Is he gelling with the rest of the offense? We expect the defense to be good. The offense does have some questions. Major trap game for the Utes as they're trying to avoid a big blow to their Pac-12 title hopes as they go for the three-peat in the conference. Washington, November 11th at Utah. Or excuse me, against Utah, not at Utah. We messed up there. But against Utah. This is a tough one. Between games at USC and at Oregon State, right? So it's at USC, then Utah, then at Oregon State. It's tough. It's tough for Washington. It's a brutal, brutal stretch there. And you look at that USC game. If they win that game, they're riding the high, but could easily fall to the Utes. If they lose to USC, they're a little hungover. They lose to the Utes. Yes, it is in Seattle. Yes, we know Washington's going to play well there. Yes, we know this Washington team is good, but so is Utah. This could be a Pac-12 title elimination game on November 11th, and it's a big-time trap game at home, especially considering what's on both sides of this Utah game for the Huskies. And then finally, Washington State, October 28th at Arizona State. This is a game for the Cougars that comes after their road game at Oregon. They beat the Sun Devils last year 28-18, so a 10-point victory, not bad. Many would expect, with another full year under Jake Dickert, Cameron Ward returning, that Washington State would, in theory, beat an Arizona State team led by a first-year head coach, led by a team with quarterback questions. But again, the Sun Devils in the desert, not an easy place to play, not an easy team to face. I do think the offense will be better than people realize. This is a very winnable game for a Washington State team that hopes to get back to the postseason under Jake Dickert. But those postseason hopes could take a blow depending on how they do before this with a tough game at Arizona State. No slouch at all, and a major trap game for the Cougars. So there you have it, guys. The Pac-12, it's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be one of the best conferences to watch in all of college football this year, but we're going to see a lot of upsets. We know we've got legitimate contenders like USC, Utah, Washington, UCLA, Oregon State. Legitimate contenders here. But some of these trap games, they're going to dictate who wins the conference, who gets to the college football playoff, if any at all. Lots at stake here. Let us know in the comments below who you think will fall victim to the trap and why. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. You do not want to miss out on that. You do not want to miss out on the chance to become part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.